Well, nearly 7 months after the sudden closure of the westbound Washington Bridge, the state's outside legal team is closer to answering who may be responsible and if there is enough evidence to file a lawsuit. Target 12 investigator Alexandra Leslie joins us from East Providence with today's developments. Alex?
Attorney Max Wistow told reporters he was intentionally going to be cagey in responses, but that he hopes to have some answers by early next month. He says he and his team want to make sure that they can maximize the financial recovery for the state. For the first time in about 4 months, the outside legal team hired by Governor McKee to investigate the failure of the westbound Washington Bridge gave an update on their findings. Reporters asked if attorney Max Wistow believes they will have a case.
I think way more likely than not.
Wistow declining to give more specifics, but telling reporters he hopes to have a decision on whether or not a lawsuit will be filed by sometime in early August.
Is this the so-called day of reckoning that we're expecting in early August?
I don't know what you're expecting by a day of reckoning.
Well, that's what the governor's kept calling it.
Well, I don't want to speak for the governor.
Wistow says a team of at least 6 lawyers and paralegals are working on the matter. They're reviewing thousands of documents while working with an engineering firm to figure out which companies, if any, might have legal culpability.
This is not a slip and fall at Stop and Shop. This is not a fender bender.
Wistow acknowledges the public has a right to know what happened, but says he's intentionally not providing many details now in order to avoid jeopardizing the state's potential court case.
There are many situations where somebody's got to make a decision about whether or not satisfying the public interest is worth potentially compromising millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars.
Governor McKee was not at today's press conference. He's in Salt Lake City for the rest of the week, attending a meeting of the National Governors Association. With the Target 12 investigators, Alexandra Leslie, 12 News.
An update tonight on the Washington Bridge breakdown. Governor McKee's outside legal team says they expect to make a decision by early next month on whether to file any lawsuits. In the meantime, the lawyers say they're still poring over thousands of pages of potential evidence related to the bridge's failure. Target 12 investigator Alexandra Leslie took questions to the attorneys today and joins us now from East Providence.
Attorney Max Wistow says this is a complex case, but that it is more likely than not that they have enough evidence to file a lawsuit sometime early next month. It's been about 4 months since Governor McKee hired an outside legal team led by attorney Max Wistow to determine who may be responsible for the failure of the westbound Washington Bridge. Wistow says not to read into why they don't have that answer just yet.
This is not a slip and fall at Stop and Shop. This is not a fender bender.
It's a complex and technical case, according to Wistow, and he says he's relying on engineering experts to help make sense of it.
So we're looking to see if somebody not only, quote, messed up, but what was the consequence of that? And that is a rather complex issue that we're trying to address.
Do you and your expert have a better sense as to what has gone wrong?
Let me put it this way. I'm going to answer yes, but I'm not going to go beyond the obvious question is what is that sense? The answer is yes. We are approaching that point.
Wistow spoke one day after Governor McKee and other officials announced they're starting over and planning for a new bridge after no companies bid on the project. Wistow says he's looking to recoup money that can help offset the cost.
Because what we're trying to do is ultimately get the maximum recovery that's conceivable for the state of Rhode Island.
While the legal team continues its work, the director of the Department of Administration told me yesterday that the state plans to formally seek input by construction companies by the end of this month, but they're no longer able to say when the new bridge will be built or how much it will cost. With the Target 12 investigators, I'm Alexandra Leslie, 12 News.